What's up, y'all? It's your girl Molinda Jae, and I'm here and I'm back with episode 5 review. I call it the plan because what was discussed within this particular episode is basically breaking from the mold, breaking from the institution, because there has been private correspondence that has been leaked between their families, that are leaked to the press for them to consume, for the whole public to consume. That leads to the final nail in the coffin to say enough is enough and it's time to leave. And also, what has been discussed was Meghan giving birth to Archie, and the tradition when it comes to a baby being born in a royal family, they will step outside the hospital for a photo op. Click, 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 click. Can we see the baby? Blah, blah, blah. And the list goes on. But with Harry and Meghan, it was like, nope, try again. Y'all just going to see us coming out and we're going to progress forward. And let's just say again, the media got salty because Harry and Meghan put their baby and their family and their security first, in regards to, no, y'all not gonna see our baby until we're ready for y'all to see our baby, because y'all already put us through the mud as it is, and now y'all want to see our baby, and now y'all want to be entitled to see our baby. And that was the moment when they took full advantage and charge of themselves. Like, okay, you want a baby picture from us, you'll get a baby picture, but on our time, because y'all already dragged us. And now you're getting salty because you can't get a first photo op picture of the baby, of baby Archie, but you were dragging their mother. You were dragging his mother through the mud. You were talking about him while he is developing in her belly. Make it make sense. Pick a side, pick a side. You can't be trashing somebody and expecting something in return that they have full control over, whether you know it or not, and they will do it on their own time. So again, pick a side, pick a side. You can't drag somebody and then expect them to give their child on a silver platter like that. No. So congratulations to them on that, because they've been the scapegoat for the palace for the longest. Because as they explained, when it comes to the media and their articles, depending on the how the organization or the charities that they support is being recognized, so to speak, or funded, or but more so getting recognition, as if a particular royal is in the front page, whether it's good or bad. But you want to be on the front page for good, because that'll just raise up the value of the organizations, the charities that that a particular royal backs, to having the collective wanting to contribute to them. So if a royal is on the front page and it's for good, then of course their organization is going to be very highlighted in a good light. On the flip side, if a royal is misbehaving or acting bad and it's very detrimental to the royal family brand as a whole, and they're on the front page, then the organizations behind that royal is not going to get that much recognition, funding, and then some. So if one of them wants to get rid, so if that person who has a bad article on the front page and they want it gone, well, they got to get another royal. They got to get in contact with communication from another royal branch and get info on them, so they can be on the forefront. So that's how that is. That's how that circulates around that. I'll give y'all a clear example. All right, with Prince Andrew and his dealings with the trafficking, right? Or just being with young girls. So, right? Allegedly, even though it's already out there and open, I'm okay. But him being on the front page with him wanting to get rid of that and that essence, who would they use as a scapegoat? More likely Meghan and Harry, okay? Meghan and Harry. Or they'll put William and Kate and the cheating that's going on between the list goes on. But that's just a little example on how they would circulate if one is trying to basically get a bad article to go away. They'll use a whole another family member to take the place, the scapegoat on that. Also, what was discussed, what I got from episode 5, the plan and breaking away from the institution was when they was on a trip visiting South Africa, if I'm not mistaken, or just visiting in general. There was this journalist named Tommy, and they were producing a documentary at the time, and that was greenlit by the Royals. And he had asked her a simple question. He asked her a couple questions on motherhood and how she is navigating through it. But he asked a simple question of, "Are you okay?" And when he asked her that question, it just sent a signal to her like, "Oh my gosh, this is the first time somebody has ever asked me that question of, are you okay?" It's always, she's doing this, she's doing that, and this and that, and the list goes on. And with that journalist asking that question, it just sent her a light bulb and wanting to go in a little bit detail on the struggles that she is having with motherhood on the mental standpoint, and how it's hard to now, even though she has the status, she has the privilege and all that, she still goes through the day-to-day trials and tribulations of navigating, how to successfully navigate through the press and not feel like she wants to take her own life, because she, no matter what she does, whether it's for the greater good, but for humanity, there's always a essence of she's doing good, but this is always sends a signal that no matter how hard she tries, it's not enough. Like, she always has to prove herself, and in regards to fitting in, and it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that for any individual in any economic status, any background, any race. Like, you go where you are supported, you go where you love. So I do appreciate her going into detail about her struggles with her motherhood, with motherhood and mental health, because it does take a toll on us as mothers, and it does take a toll on us as individuals, because we are here, well, you're taking care of this human being, and you have to make sure you are good yourself as an individual before you try to continue on loving an individual that love you unconditionally. So, and then that's when they took a refuge, so to speak, in Canada at that time. When in this episode here, they had taken refuge in Canada, in Vancouver, Canada, and a island, Vancouver Island, and they felt free at the moment because there was no press, there's nobody associated with the press that lives around in the surroundings, because it is an island. And the fact that they end up finding them again, I'm like, dang, they can't win for losing. Like, and they know how lucrative, and it just goes to show that the press knows how lucrative they are. And I'm pretty sure Harry and Meghan by now know how lucrative they are, but they are very strategic on how they want to take advantage of the moment. They're very strategic at that. But it just goes to show that even though y'all like trashing them for what they do on a day-to-day basis, and they do anything and everything to remove themselves so they won't be in the limelight anymore, y'all still find a way to find them. So just say you don't like them, but you want them to still fund your company, your living, so to speak, because they're doing everything they can. If they want to be in public, they will do it with grace and humility and for humanity. But the fact that they, even with them removing themselves and coming up with a plan, because they had a plan, that's what I'm getting to now. They had a plan that they wanted. They chose different areas. One area was New Zealand. New Zealand was the first. Then that had got scrapped out, and they chose South Africa. And they had got the green light to go to South Africa, but at the same time, that story had got leaked out. Well, the plan got leaked out about them wanting to relocate to South Africa, but still a whole how should I say this? They wanted to step back from royal duties to a certain degree, that they will still be like ambassadors for the crown on wherever they're at, whether they're in Vancouver or whether they're in South Africa or whether they're in New Zealand. However, the takeaway from it is that if we go there, then we can we don't mind our titles being stripped or whatever. We will relinquish our titles, so to speak. So the fact that they had got greenlit to go to relocate to South Africa, and that particular plan had got leaked out again, because when it got leaked out, it was perceived to the public as, oh, they're using taxpayer money to relocate, and they want to still hold on to the titles, and still do royal duties at the same time. They still want to hold on to the institutional bag, but do it their own ways, so to speak. And Harry and Meghan was like, that's not the case. Like, if we want to do royal engagements, we'll do it on our own funding. That way it won't be perceived as if we're using the taxpayers' money, so to speak. But again, no matter what they do to try to stay true to themselves, but also perform their duties, there's always some backlash in the back of the class to be like, hey, y'all can't do that. Y'all can't do that. Figure out something else. So that got scrapped. And again, they had a plan. And as many times that he tried to get a hold of his grandmother, Harry tried to get a hold of the Queen to have a meeting to discuss what they would like to do, or a meeting between him, Harry, between Harry, William, and Charles and the Queen. It was just a no-go until finally the Queen did an emergency meeting between Harry, William, Charles, and herself. And even and what was explained was, hey, if we do this, we will do this, so to speak. And all in a nutshell, within that meeting, they couldn't meet them they couldn't meet him halfway. They, meaning Charles and William, they couldn't meet Harry halfway when it comes to still doing royal duties, but being low-key at the same time. They were like, no, it's either you stay here and do what you need to do, or leave and be stripped of your titles. Is either in all or be all, so to speak. No halfway. And how he described that meeting was, while William was yelling at the top of his lungs about what was said at that meeting, you had Charles that was, doing his own little thing, and then you also had the Queen just sitting there soaking it all in. And when he said that, I'm like, this is the reason why the Queen held on as long as she could in reign, because she already know the shit show that was going to happen when she passes away. I see why. And as I done my little research on the royal family, and the list goes on, stuff like that, even watching the Crown series, which I love, again, it's just like, I see why the Queen held out as long as she could in the reign, because she knows how it could possibly fall due to people being stuck in their emotions and their pride and prestige, to where it can really all fall down in any given moment. So, I'm like, bro, what? So they left that meeting with nothing, no solidified plan on the table. But however, what put the nail in the coffin, what really put the nail in the coffin for them of Harry and Meghan leaving, was that Meghan had seek advice from Charles and the Queen in regards to how to get connected back with her father, and possibly get some reasoning why, or get some clarity of why he did what he did in regards to staging for the paparazzi before the wedding happened, which causes him not walking her down the aisle. And their recommendation was a letter. So she wrote a letter to her father, and again, she wrote a letter to her father, and instead of it going through the regular schmegular mail service, she had it shipped to her business manager, and her business manager sent it over to Mexico, where her father was at. However, when it got to Mexico, it was not him that signed off on the letter. So basically, somebody within the press sector got a hold of the mail. And guess who got a hold of it? The Daily Mail. That's going to be the key word for when you watch the Netflix series, The Drinking Game. Anytime you hear the Daily Mail or the Mail, take a drink. It don't even have to be alcohol. Just take a drink, because the Mail is the main source that has been in the forefront for the longest of pinpointing their locations. Like I said, no matter where they went, when they try to be low key, they were the particular news outlet, media outlet that will get a hold of their location and start dispatching paparazzi to go their way to get some photos so they can make some money as their cash cows. So that's what led to them saying enough is enough, because they started when they was in Vancouver before the Panorama started hitting, um Harry had said that they were on an island where nobody could, no press were around, nobody associated with the press is that lives here. And the fact that they came in boats, like they were the British are coming basically to take photos, and the list goes on, climbing over fences, visiting the gate, to where they had to again take shelter. And that's when the panoramic hit. And instead of them staying in Canada, because Canada was about to close their borders, they took off. They took off into LA, which will be the last episode and the next video that you'll be tuning into. So that's what I got from episode 5, was that it was time to break from the institution. They held on as long as they could. Basically, they held on as long as they could. They did the best that they could, and it's just time to go at this point, because nobody's meeting them halfway. Nobody is providing them with no security, and the list goes on. Which, since they went out of the got out of the monarchy, that leaves them in a higher risk, because they are not they're not being assigned to no security to help them, feel safe. So yeah, that's that on episode 5. So leave your comments down below on what you think about episode 5. And if you watched it, let me know what you think down in the comment section below to continue the conversation. Of course, don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you haven't done so already, hit the notification bell so you know the next time I upload a video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.